All right, so there you have it. An intro to where we are at today, a brand new series in 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John. We're calling it 1, 2, and 3. You can see because it's on the screen and on the sides over here. You can count to 3. When I was thinking about this passage earlier and about how to introduce this new series, I got to thinking, you saw the math video and it's pretty good. My math is pretty terrible, but hey, it's a good thing because I don't have to take another math class in my life. Calculators are a huge blessing. There's no excuse anymore for me to be bad at math because of technology, right? Is there anybody with me? It's like I hate math. I can't wait to be done with it forever. Is there anybody who wants to be like an engineer or chemist or like doctor or something? Physicist? Computer science? Yeah, good luck. That's math. Is there anybody that's like, hey, like some kind of arts or something like that? Yeah, that's good. Okay, I was a filmmaking major. For those of you who don't know, I have a degree in filmmaking. That's what I went to school for. I had to take one math class. And at my university, there was like the intro level math, like the basic math that you could take when you go to school, right? I took 2 maths below that to satisfy my 3-hour credit. Okay, I had to take one math class. It was called Math for General Studies. It was like long division and sets. It was like the easiest thing. My professor who taught it, this is not even what I planned on talking about when I came out here. My professor was Professor Kreitz, and he was retiring. He was like 30-year tenured at the school, and he was the retiring head of the math department. And he did not care at all. And it was the best, easiest A I had ever made. When you're like long dividing for an entire semester, you really can't go wrong with that. It was great. We did fractions. College, that's so great. So I would definitely go the arts route as opposed to the sciences, Isn't it funny sometimes how the littlest things can sometimes cause the biggest problems? Okay, I was watching a documentary, Planet Earth. Have you ever seen those? They're stinking awesome. There's Planet Earth 2. Those take like 10 or 12 years to make. It's awesome, right? I was just rewatching those because they put me to sleep. Sometimes late at night, Amy's already snoring next to me. She's not in here, so I can say that she snores. Don't tell her when she comes in that I told her that she snores, okay? So she's snoring next to me, and I'm like, I can't go to sleep, so I'll put on Planet Earth because it's quiet and it's calming. But sometimes it keeps me up because it's pretty scary. Because, like I said, sometimes the smallest things can cause the biggest problems. Okay, how many of you love bugs? I'm not one of them, okay? Spiders are the worst thing to me in the world, okay? Spiders, they're about this big. Sometimes they can get really big, but they're like small things and they can cause big problems, okay? I'm not going to put a picture of like the guy's hand up there that got bit by a spider and his hand is like, falling off, right? But a spider bite can like kill you. A spider bite can at least, eat your arm. Like the smallest thing can cause a big problem. And if you don't even believe that a small thing can cause a big problem, then you haven't ever stepped on a Lego, right? Seriously, there is nothing more painful than stepping on a Lego. Small things can cause really big problems. And as we talk about this series today, we're going to be out of 1 John, chapters 1 and chapters 2. It is a very small book. It is a letter that is written to the church, okay? And if you have been following along in the Devos with us, I would encourage every single one of you to. This series is both challenging, it is encouraging, it is very helpful because it tells us and teaches us how we should live, how we could live, and and exactly what Jesus can do for all of us. So like I said, small things can cause really big problems. I think that's a pretty good spiritual parallel into our life a little bit. And it's a good metaphor because sometimes the littlest thing in our life can cause the biggest problems. Sometimes it's a little white lie. Sometimes it's a little real lie. Sometimes it's a little bit of gossip. Sometimes it's a little bit of anxiety. Sometimes it's a little bit of this or a little bit of that. And the smallest thing can throw off your entire day, week, month, or year. And I know I'm not alone in being there and saying that, yes, I have had some problems, big ones, caused by the tiniest little things. And I want to tell you straight up today that as we talk, that the small thing in our spiritual life that causes big problems is a small little word, 3 letters only, and it's called sin. Sin is at the root of each and every single problem that we have in life. I was just thinking back to what's happened in this nation, in this world, in just the past few weeks. I mean, you see maniacs opening fire at a concert. You see people in cars just driving through crowds of people. You see crazy natural disasters, and you see all kinds of hurting people, people needing help. And in each and every single way, racial divide and tension in our country, civil wars going on across the world. I mean, there are problems left and right, and you can't get through a news cycle without hearing about something that has gone wrong. And at the root of all of it, at the root of violence, at the root of racism, at the root of pride, at the root of any kind of issue in this life is that little bitty problem of sin. There are no gray areas in our faith. If you've heard me teach at all, I know it's been a while. For those of you who are tuning in for this series, I've got this entire series. Okay, so for the next few weeks, it's going to be me, and we're going to be talking about 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John. If you've heard me teach at all, if you've been a Preston student for any length of time, then you know that I am a believer in black and white. Okay, when it comes to matters of our faith, there is no gray area. Gray area is what we make up to justify our actions. But there is a definite right and there is a definite wrong in every instance, universally across our lives. It is either holy or unholy. You're either living for Christ or you have turned your back on Him. There is no in-between. There is no gray area. It is all or nothing. And this is the picture that John paints. It's either going to be something that is sinful or something that is glorifying to God. And that's a very, very difficult thing. John's first letter to the church, if you want to open your Bible up, this is on page 1021. If you have just the standard ESV Bible. I want to tell you a little bit about John's first letter to the church. Okay, so John, this John is the same guy that wrote the Gospel of John, right? Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, same guy. Okay, so later in life, he's writing these letters not to a person. Are you guys familiar with the name Paul and Timothy? You guys know those names? Paul wrote like most of the New Testament, and he has these letters, 1st and 2nd Timothy, that we often read. Well, Paul wrote those letters addressed to Timothy. Timothy took those letters and applied them greater to the church. But here, John is not writing them to a specific person. He's writing them to the entire organization and saying, hey, these are good principles for you all to live by. You'll see some themes in the first couple of chapters that are repeated constantly throughout the book. This book is really kind of hard